I'm telling you, this is a distinct honor for me. I'm not even joking. Tim Hunter played 815 NHL games. We all know Stanley Cup champion with the Calgary Flames. They're bringing him on the screen already. I was a longtime fan from the 80s and then got to know him with the Warriors. Even bigger fan. You're just a good guy, and he joins us down here at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. How you doing, Tim?
Fantastic.
Can I get you to pull that mic in right into your... there you go. Appreciate it. What is it? Are you following me around this town, or what? How come I keep seeing you everywhere?
Yeah, wow, amazing. At the canvas auction and at a restaurant, and geez. And then I was here, and you weren't here, so
I was in bed already. But listen, we got to tell a story. Because as you know me now, Tim, long enough, I know everybody's name around here. I know all the staff. So they said, Tim Hunter was in here the other night. And I said, oh, how did that go? This is the security guys. Well, they said as soon as you walked in, welcome to oil country.
Yeah, smart Alec. I'm like, really? I said, listen, pal, I used to beat guys up like you for a living. Go away.
And he loved it. He loved it. He thought it was hilarious. But I want to start there. I was saying to you before we went to air, I knew living in Saskatchewan pretty much my whole life, this Flames-Oilers rivalry was something, and I went to college here. It's way hotter than I knew. The hate is palpable between these cities. Hey?
Oh, yeah, always has been. And, you know, Edmonton's got a few more Stanley Cups, probably a few more Grey Cups than Calgary does. So it's the city of champions, and we're the city of also-rans, I guess. But... we still keep hating each other, and it's fun.
Yeah, no kidding. And that's, I mean, where you roll in this town, everywhere you go, you're a pretty recognizable guy. People are pretty good mood when it comes to the hockey team these days.
Yeah, it's been real fun to watch. And I was at a lot of games early on in the season when they just started to get rolling, and did a little bit of Flames TV and what have you, and then went south to Arizona for almost 4 months and come back and see the finished product here down the stretch, and looking forward to playoffs. Well,
we should talk about the Arizona game, because I saw you after that game, and I didn't go to that one, and I'm glad I didn't. But tell the viewers what it was like, because they were down 1-0 after the first period.
Yeah, Arizona got a lucky goal, and then as the periods go along, the crowd's getting a little like frustrated, and Calgary just stuck to their plan. They got a lot of scoring chances in the first, and I said to somebody, listen, they're going to take the game over here. It's just a matter of time here. And my other favorite guy, Dylan Dubé, had scored the only goal against Vegas in the Vegas game, and I thought he's had a good year, a little bit, frustrated with the goal-scoring department, but playing well. So he scores 2, and Calgary just takes over the game, as they should. Phoenix or Arizona, whatever you want to call them, are not really in the same class as the Calgary Flames.
You said you just got back from there. What's Arizona, I mean? What's the mood?
Well, a lot of frustration with the people, because the team just hasn't improved, and I don't know. The location over in Glendale is not the best, because it's a long way from anywhere. All the population's kind of in the middle of the Phoenix area, and they're on the far west side, and so they need a change. And I don't think going to the University of or
Tempe,
ASU Tempe is going to be the answer.
Well, when you go there, what area do you stay in?
I'm in Mesa, so on the east side of,
yeah.
And there's a lot of Canadians on that side, and it's an hour to go across to go to a game from that side. So if they move to Tempe, it's going to be great. It won't be so far.
Yeah, but the team's not going to be any better. And listen, I want to talk about happy topics, and we will, and tell some hockey stories here. But I had a buddy that was in Phoenix last week. He saw New Jersey there, and I think they beat the Coyotes 6-2. And he said there's more people at a Pats Warriors game, a junior game. So if you're going to drive an hour and watch the worst team in the NHL, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, yeah, total. I'd drive 6 hours to watch a Pats Warriors game than I would go to watch a Devils Coyotes game, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess my question to you, my last one is, I'm just fascinated by Canadians' fascination with the Coyotes situation. Like, everybody really seems to care. I think that's just the way that we are. But why are they keeping the team there for so long?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. The dynamics of the NHL and Gary Bettman, that's a great question.
You don't have the answer for it today?
No. No, if I did, I'd probably be working in the NHL. So.
Okay, fair enough. So, to the Flames, and last week, Jamie McCown sat in that chair and he went through the whole roster and he talked about Lucic. And I said, was Tim Hunter that kind of guy for you? And he said, nah, not really. What was your role compared to, was there a guy on this team that like you were?
Yeah, not really, not so much. Lucic is more of a scorer. And his job is to bang guys and set the tone physically, and that was my job. But he's just a little more of a offensive threat than me. That'd be the only real difference.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just thought, who would be closer than Lucic to you? Not that many.
No.
He crashes and bangs.
Yeah. Lewis, these guys that do play in the third and fourth line, they bang around a little bit. And, when Calgary wants to push back, they can. They've got a lot of big bodies. Zorov, Branson, they're big body guys. And you need those guys in the playoffs to bang some bodies because you have to play some teams where the game's going to be physical. To win a Stanley Cup, you have to play 3 or 4 different ways. Offensive, defensive, tough, and then a combination of all 3 sometimes.
So how many ways can this team play, do you think?
They can play them all, and they've shown that with their consistency in winning. They've had some lulls, but the lulls haven't been too low, but they can play any way you want. When you only have 190 goals against, they can play defense. They've got 270 goals for, so they can score, and that's what you need. You got to be able to score and defend. And if you can't defend, you're not going to make it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting because we had Kristen Anderson down here last week from the Calgary Herald and Sun, and she follows the team every day. And I said, how is it weighing on Tkachuk and these guys that have been around Gaudreau long enough? Because you hear it, Tim, you haven't done anything in the playoffs talk. I mean, the team hit 100 points, right, last week for the first time in 20 years. She said it's weighing on them every day. They're sick of it.
Yeah.
They want to go prove that it's...
Yeah, and that's just the natural growth or progression of a team of good players. Look how long it took Alex Ovechkin to win a Stanley Cup and how many coaches went through to get him to finally realize how you have to play to win. And that's a little bit what's gone on here. It takes time for these guys to learn how hard it is to win, and not just win during the regular season, but win in the playoffs and win more than just one round or more than just one game.
Yeah. So enough about the current. We can come back on this because I love, and the viewers love, the hockey stories. And the guy knows of what he speaks. Stanley Cup champion in 89. So from 81 to 92 with the Flames, what's that count? 11 seasons?
11.
Is that what you say?
Yeah.
And then one season with Quebec, Vancouver for 4, and rounding it out in San Jose, and then 1,000 games as an assistant coach. But to play for the Flames, for your hometown team, and win a Stanley Cup, like, you must think God's got your number in the pool, I would think. Doesn't get better than that.
Well, being drafted by the Atlanta Flames, and then I was down in Atlanta at the time having a knee surgery, and I was done. I was back at David Poyle's house, and he said, I've got some good news for you. He said, we sold the team, and it's moving to Calgary. I said, come on. So, and they added the 20th man on the roster that year, so that really helped guys like myself play in the NHL. So it was great. And then playing my first game in the Corral and spending 11 years here and winning a Stanley Cup, going to the Stanley Cup Finals in 86 and losing to the Canadians. The great teams we had, 2 President's Trophies, and, the city. You talk about the Edmonton rivalry. Like, everyone, game day, you went and got gas, you went to the grocery store, wherever you were around, everyone had something to say. So everyone wanted you to win because it was big. And everyone was behind us, which was big too. And that's the greatest part about playing in your hometown is the fans. I had so many fans and friends that were fans that it was great. Like, one of the things I did at the beginning of the game during the anthem, I knew where all my friends were in the building, and I just kind of went around the building and give everyone a nod. They'd all be looking at me, and I'd give them a nod during the anthem just to say, hello, I see you're here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Made you play better, obviously.
Yeah, just, pride of playing for your hometown and pride of, being a professional.
Well, we often say, the good times are over for good. Like, could those days return? They say in 2004 it was very similar.
Yeah, the Red Mile, and I was in Tampa for Game 7 when they lost, and that was too bad. It would have been great for the city again. And this team is another one of those great teams, and it's just waiting for its chance to prove that here as we get into the playoff.
Mm-hmm. I mentioned to you the one season in Quebec, which frankly, I did follow your career. I don't remember that. It was 48 games. You did score 5 goals, but it was a weird road to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, being selected in the expansion draft by Tampa, and then they traded me to Quebec. Pierre Pagé was there, and he had me in Calgary. And he tried to get me at the trade deadline that year, the year before. And I was hurt, so I wasn't. They couldn't trade me. So I go to Quebec, and they were a real budget team. So my contract had expired with Calgary.
That means cheap?
Yes.
That's a nice way of saying it.
That's why they moved to Colorado,
right?
Because the owner was cheap, and pretty much. So, anyways, I had played my contract out, so they qualified me, and they qualified me, and what I made for the Flames, and they offered me a 2-way contract. I hadn't been on a 2-way contract in 10 years, so I wasn't really happy with that. So I play the whole year. I'm a good soldier. I'm telling Pierre, like, here, the last 2 or 3 years of my career, I'd like to make some more money and win and be valuable. I'm going to try to do that here. I was, I had all those young guys, Joe Sakic, Owen Nolan, Curtis Lecision, Adam Foote, Mike Ricci, Matt Sundin, this whole crew of great players. And I was the grandfather, doing all the babysitting and teaching what leadership was all about and professionalism was all about. But no contract. No, they didn't have a date where you got your arbitration set. I was filed for arbitration, but there was no date. It was you never knew when it was going to happen. So finally, Pierre said, "Okay, I'll help you out." They put me on waivers, and San Jose Sharks, Minnesota, and Vancouver were interested. And I told my agent, I said, "Vancouver is the best fit. They have a young guy there. He's really tough, and I think I could help mentor him, and help the Canucks." That was Gino Odjick. San Jose decided they weren't interested, and Minnesota made a claim an hour late. So they didn't get me, and Vancouver claimed, and they got me. And it was one of the best things that happened in my career is going there and playing there for 4 years for Pat Quinn, because he was an unbelievable coach and an unbelievable guy.
Went to a Stanley Cup final.
Correct. And that was a lot of fun. We had a great group. Trevor Linden, Kirk McLean, Dana Merzin, Sergio Momesso, Cliff Ronning, Jeff Portnoy, Jeff Brown, just Jyrki Lumi, just a great group of guys. And that was a real magical run too. And coincides the 2 times I go to a Stanley Cup final with Calgary. We beat Vancouver in the first round, and with Vancouver, we beat Calgary in the first round. And that sometimes is the hardest thing for teams in the playoffs, is to get through that first round, because anything can happen. You're playing a team that has nothing to lose. They're the underdog against you being the higher seed, and it's tough.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of The Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.